Hi everyone, tonight I am making a huge pot of pasta. I'm going to make pepperoni cavatini. This recipe makes a ton, so it's perfect if you're having company over or need it for a big gathering. A lot of times I'll even only make a half batch, so what I'm doing today is the whole batch, but you certainly can just cut it in half if you don't need this much, okay? So to start, I have 1.5 to 2 pounds of ground beef that I just browned in the skillet. I added the traditional garlic powder and onion powder garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of salt and pepper when I browned my meat. So browned the meat and drained it. I also have 1.5 pounds of pasta cooking right now. So I like to use a variety of pastas when I make this. So I use about a half pound of the rotini, a half pound of ziti, and then a half pound of the little shells. You certainly can just use all of one type of noodle. I like to add the 3 because it just makes it look a little fancier. So again, 1.5 pounds total. You just want to cook those, boil them, and then drain them. All right, so brown your meat with garlic powder, onion powder, little salt and pepper, drain it, boil your noodles, and then the next step is just we want to add 2 jars of spaghetti sauce into our meat mixture. This recipe, you can use homemade spaghetti sauce or whatever your favorite kind of spaghetti sauce or marinara sauce is. It really doesn't matter because we add pepperoni and all this ground beef and stuff. There's so much flavor here already that you really don't have to worry about having an expensive name brand spaghetti sauce. So now I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to add a little bit of water to one of my jars here. Not too much, but I'm going to add a little bit of water into my pan here. And now I'm going to go ahead and just heat this on the stove while my noodles finish up cooking. And then I will be back to assemble our delicious pepperoni cavatini. All right, so now it's time to assemble this goodness. To start, I have this great big roaster here because I'm telling you the full batch makes a ton. So I am just going to take about 1/3 of my pasta. So you can see the 3 different styles in there. There's a shell and ziti and then the rigatoni. Okay, so I'm just going to put about 1/3 of this in this big pan. It's going to be a thin layer, but that's okay because we have 2 more layers. More there, okay. Put it in there. And then I always like to take a little bit of salt on top of the pasta. Now we're going to take about 1/3 of the sauce and spoon that over top of our noodles. Make sure you get every spot covered. Yum! Oh, looks good already, doesn't it? More scoops here. Okay. So now I want to take mozzarella cheese. You certainly can shred your own, but I am just using the bag today. Okay. Next, you want to take pepperoni and just put pepperoni down. This was like a big pepperoni stick that we cut down. But normally, you can just get the sliced pepperoni. So that's why mine are all odd shapes here. This pepperoni, the grease from the pepperoni just blends down through there then and gives it such a wonderful, wonderful flavor. A couple more on up here. Okay, perfect. Now we're just going to repeat those layers for 2 more times. So another 1/3 of the pasta. Another 1/3 of the sauce. We'll do a little tiny bit of salt, a little bit of the sauce here. So you can see how much of the meat and stuff we have. So you can see why we don't need to use a good homemade sauce. Any store-bought sauce will do. Yum, yum, yum. All right, then we want another heavy layer of our cheese. I am telling you, I'm gonna have some salad with this and some applesauce. It is and garlic bread. It is just gonna be so yummy. All right, and then our pepperoni. I think I'll just kind of sprinkle it on this time. Oh my goodness. All right, and then we're just gonna finish off doing the exact same thing again. The rest of our noodles here. Tiny bit of salt. The rest of our sauce. Sorry, I'm sure that was loud when I was scraping. My dog came running out. He heard me scraping the meat plate, which is very typical of him as well. You get a spatula here to scrape the rest of this out. All right. Goodness, guys, this looks so good. I love pasta. I love my carbs. I just do. Perfect. Okay, then we need our last layer of our mozzarella cheese. So I, in total, used 2 whole bags of the mozzarella cheese. And honestly, it probably could even have used a little more, but that is all I have. Okay, then the rest of our pepperoni. And voila, that is it. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and cover this. We're gonna bake it in a preheated 350-degree oven for 40 to 45 minutes, and then we'll be back to show you how delicious this pasta dish looks. Here is this huge pot of pepperoni cavatini that we've allowed to sit for 15 to 20 minutes after baking before we served it.